Hi there, welcome to Kitchen Chat episode number 2, and today's topic is managing stress, which is probably one of the top requested topics for support groups or workshops or get-togethers. We encounter so much daily stress, and so today we're going to each share a little bit of our own stories, what we put into practice, and talk about proactive and reactive strategies for you moms. I'm Jessica Pate, founder of We Are Brave Together, and I've brought today Tina Quinn, life coach, right next to me, and she's also a board member for We Are Brave Together. And I brought Hillary Foster, who is a marriage and family therapist. She's also a single mom, single working mom. We're all special needs moms, so we are in this with you, and we're here to share with you our journey and what we do to survive well. So I will let one of you start, whoever would like to go first, and just share a little of your story.
I'm Tina Quinn. I have been married 27 years, have 3 girls, one 24, one 22, and one 19. Megan, our youngest, is the one with special needs. She wasn't diagnosed with anything in particular. She was just very, very slow, physically, emotionally, mentally. So by the time we went in for our first assessment at 3, we knew something was up, but our pediatrician never helped us figure out what it was. I was naive. I was going along with all the other kids. By 3 years old, we went into the school district and found out she needed OT and PT and speech and APE, all these letters I had never heard of. So here she is at 19. She is still slow, but and when she was young, it was so stressful. So a lot of the tools that I developed when Megan was really young are the tools that I still use today. So when she hit 3 years old is when I really realized, oh my gosh, I've got to do something to help myself. So today we'll share some tools that we use along the way, and that because I'm a life coach, I work with people under stress all the time. So that's me.
Wow, well, wonderful. That's a story I relate to on so many levels, right? All those letters, it's like learning a foreign language. You're like, welcome to the world of special needs parenting. Yes. So I'm Hillary Foster, and like Jessica mentioned, I'm a licensed marriage family therapist. I've been a therapist for over 17 years, but when I decided to have kids, I got married and had 2 kids. I stayed home with them, and my first son, Dean, is diagnosed with autism and cerebral palsy. I had kind of a similar experience. He was developing normally, but there was something was just, maybe he wasn't walking, and I kind of would take him to the pediatrician. I was I'm not really sure, but people would say, oh, he's a big kid, he's a boy, they walk later. Sure. But instinctually you kind of know something's not going correctly. And so he wasn't diagnosed formally until he was probably 3.5, went to the regional center. It was they started throwing out cerebral palsy as a diagnosis, which was kind of baffling to me because he had a normal birth and had a normal APGAR score, was not oxygen deprived. So anyways, we found out at MRI, found out later he was diagnosed, has cerebral palsy. So took him then he entered the school district, then they started throwing the autism word around, and I was like, what is autism? I've never heard of that. So how, he kind of got the double whammy diagnosis, and yeah, went from there. It was just a whirlwind of new information, learning curve, and even though I'm a therapist and have many tools in my toolbox, sometimes we don't always utilize them because we don't practice self-care. So it took me a long time to kind of get that, and in the midst of it, you're in it, and then that's the most challenging part. So reaching out for support, wonderful people like Jessica who've created these, avenues of sharing information. We live in a wonderful time and space where we can connect via the internet and get resources that I'm sure you didn't have, right? That was a whole different world, and so same with me, and just going through this, and now my son at 13 is doing very well. He's happy, he's thriving, and I'm just happy to be a part of this so I can share my own experience and help others. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Well, and my son Ryan is going to be 15 in 2 weeks, which, how did that happen? They say blank, and it really happened so fast. He's excited to be entering high school, and when he was born, he couldn't suck and he didn't cry for food, and in fact he didn't cry his whole first year. He barely moved and had some other medical issues, and so about at 5 weeks old he was diagnosed with Prader-Willi syndrome, which is a rare genetic disorder. It's complex, it's a spectrum, and there's a lot to say about it. I always say there's no cocktail party answer to explain it, you know, milestones were delayed, OTPT speech, yes, all the letters again. We still have a lot of those, and I would say in our everyday life, what is the hardest to manage is anxiety and his food drive. And that's, if anyone has sort of Prader-Willi syndrome, it's because of the insatiable food drive. Ryan doesn't have any satiety signals in his brain or his body, so that coupled with underlying anxiety and obsessiveness, they become highly food seeking, and we have a food schedule. We always have to talk about it. We talk about food more than any non-Prader-Willi family, and we have to create, in our world we call it food security. And so there are a lot of behaviors that we're dealing with on a daily basis, and I feel like the last year and a half it's been mostly stable. We've had our crises, we've been to the ER, we've employed medication, and you know, lots of behavior therapy through the years, and lots of parent training for mom. So it is an up and down journey. It's a roller coaster for sure. He's very sweet, of course, as all our kids are, but they have their poor little struggles, and I have to remind myself that this is not his choice, and he didn't ask for this, and he's not trying to make life challenging for the family or for me, and you know, see it for what it really is.